And are you refreshed?
Yes.
Good. Now what?
Hi. I love being here. So my son is 10 years old and has autism, and he is
Awesome.
he's awesome. He's awesome. And he's
Awesometism.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. And he's extremely attuned to energy, okay?
Yeah, because he, unlike most humans, has not talked himself out of that vibrational communication or understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
Lately, I've noticed that he's been very attuned to my emotions. And
Actually, he always has been.
Yeah.
Lately, you've been more attuned to his attunement to your emotions.
yes, yes, yes,
He always has been.
yeah,
You are just beginning to realize it more.
yes.
Yeah.
And okay, well, this might change my question a little bit. I know, I'm noticing.
Well, we'll just give you the answer.
Okay.
So he is a pure reflector of your emotions, since you are not really very good, like most humans, at recognizing your own emotions. So he's just reflecting them back to you in a stronger way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then, my original question was, how do I unteach conditional happiness to him? But now my question is, how do I
Well,
unteach?
you can't unteach anything. You just begin right now. This is really the key to this unconditional alignment that we are wanting you to reach for. Never mind how you got here, so there's nothing to un. There's nothing to undo. There's nothing to unlearn or unremember or unlive. None of that, because all of it led to now and all this awareness and all this asking. So it's all good. It's all good. So if you're not trying to undo anything, and you're not trying to control or hang your star on some outcome that's out here, but instead you are doing something that you can do here and now, which is notice the way you feel and adjust accordingly to feel even better, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, then you've got it.
I find when I fall down the scale of emotion, the fall comes faster now.
Well, it isn't faster. We know that it seems that way. It's harder. It's not a faster fall. There's more feeling in it because you are acclimating to higher frequencies. So when you're not there, you just like it a lot less than when you were hanging around there on a more regular basis.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice to know. That's all a wonderful acknowledgement of the steady improvement in your vibrational frequency. Esther's taking it even to a stronger statement, and she teases us. She doesn't really like it very much when we tell on her, and we tell everything on her. But she's been saying that she's becoming a sort of vibrational snob. And the reason she doesn't want us to say it out loud is because it's hard for most people to understand what she really means by that. But what she means is she's happy in that pickier, higher, she's happier being pickier about the higher frequencies and less willing to play in the lower frequencies just to please somebody else. And it really annoys her when she finds herself there on her own. In other words, but it's always, you started to say this, it's always in response to what you're observing. In other words, it's easier to get there and stay there if you don't have so many moving parts that you're considering. But the vibrations of others and your awareness of their vibrations then affects your vibration. And so that's why as you become more singularly attuned to your own frequency only, and you don't try to factor in what everybody else is feeling about everything. That's the thing that's so interesting. You're good as long as they're good. But when they're not good, then you're not good. And when you're not good, they're not good. And you're all pointing at each other about why you're not good.
So as a mother, I'm looking at my son, worried about me and what I'm feeling. And then there's this thing going back and forth between us where we're worrying about each other.
It's really fun to play with someone like that because he will reflect back to you on a moment-by-moment basis of what you've got going on, which can be helpful in wanting to tune yourself to feeling good. But don't try to adjust to what you think he needs or wants from you. In other words, he's just an amplifier, but don't try to use him as your guidance system any more than we would want any children to use their parents as their guidance system. It's what most parents want. Most parents want to be the guidance system for their children. And so, and it's the way it often turns out with all of you, because when somebody holds you as their object of attention and they're in alignment, and so they're feeling really good, so the whole of them, their inner being, source energy, part of them and them is focused on you, oh boy, does that ever feel good to you. But if that's a condition that you need, if in order for you to feel good, you need someone in alignment to be focused upon you, then there's nowhere to send you, because that person is not always going to be in that kind of alignment and focused upon you. So you're developing a dependency that you can't sustain. So then you start looking for it in other places that are not even close and finding it not there, and then your opinion of yourself begins to diminish because you've based your opinion of yourself on somebody else's opinion of yourself. We want you to make that relationship with your inner being, period, you see.
And so when life happens and something,
for example,
a phone call comes or an email is received that's displeasing, and I feel myself start to move out of the vortex or move down the emotional scale.
Well,
how do you stop that momentum?
Well, now you're at the bottom of the hill trying to stop the momentum. It's harder. So someone the other day asked, how do I get rid of doubt? And we said, you get rid of it before it starts, which is really annoying. When the momentum is already there, to have someone say, well, you should have gotten rid of it before it got there, but tomorrow's another day, and the next day's another day. In other words, it just gets easier and easier and easier. As you begin more days finding your frequency and maintaining it, it just gets easier and easier until in time you'll have your sea legs and that email won't bother you. It won't bother you. And you'll find yourself, Esther's saying this a lot lately, you know, if something like that had happened even 3 or 4 months ago, my response to it would have been far different than it is now, because I'm steadier now. I'm more consistently I've prepared the atmosphere so that even though you're walking around in the same world, often in the same streets, even often receiving the same emails, even often watching the same movies or television programs, you are responding not because of what's being presented to you, you're responding based upon the vibrational stance that you've accomplished. And so after a while, you just do get your sea legs. You find yourself so knowing that things are working out for you that it doesn't matter how anything appears right here, right now. This is just a condition that is changing based upon your frequency. Or you could say, all right, am I changing this condition of this email based upon my stable frequency? Or am I adjusting my stable frequency to an unstable frequency based upon this email? Because you got that choice in every moment. In every moment, take it down to the emotional level. Well, this can bother me or not bother me. Did you notice we didn't say this can make me happy or sad? Some of them just don't have the potential to make you happy. But there's always a choice. This can bother me or not. Am I choosing for this to bother me? Do I need this condition to sort itself completely out in order for me to feel better? You don't want to be in that position. There's so many conditions that are around. You see, when you are living a conditional love or life, it goes like this. That condition's bothering me. I'll move away from it. That condition's bothering me too. I'll move away from that. And pretty soon, you're in a lonely corner. You're in a lonely corner, not feeling very eager about going out because that condition bothers you and that. But when you are wobble-free, now you can go out anywhere and feel good any place, anytime, because you're stable. And law of attraction will not betray your stability. If you're stable, law of attraction's not going to trick you like the movies make it look like. Oh, the sun is shining. It's the happiest family you've ever seen. It's all sweetness and love. You can tell by the music. And then, boom, the child is stolen in the night. Law of attraction will not betray you, you see.
Thank you.
Enough?
I'm a mental health counselor, and like the gentleman who's the orthodontist, I understand now that my work is to be in alignment for myself, and then those that that come into my practice.
Does it bother you? Those who are in the mental health field must be bothered at how much those on the outside look like those on the inside. In other words, the whole world is sort of in need of mental health by the criteria that is established.
Yeah.
We're just trying to strike a little humorous footing here before we move forward. And can't you sometimes see that some of the delusions that some people have fashioned have actually stabilized them?
Yes.
And that it is the trying to take their delusions away. There's this vortex. It's a vibrational reality. You can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. And then you go to the mental health place. This is reality.
Right.
You must face reality.
Right.
But I'm happier when I'm in my vortex. Lock her up.
Right.
We're being extreme here.
No, I understand, and it's a question that I think about often. As an Abraham-inspired therapist, the language that we use in this community doesn't really mean anything to those who aren't playing with us. So I'm trying to learn.
Well, let us give you some universal language.
Okay.
Love.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. I had fun with you today. I like what I'm hearing from you. I feel really good about what's going on here. I feel things are working out for you. In fact, I'm sure of it. You got a lot going for you. We all do. We're all making too much of all of this. You're in a much better place than anyone is letting you believe. Much better place than you believe. I'm so looking forward to what's unfolding here. Not one of those words is not understood by both communities. It's just not offered by one community very often. Because the one community, that one, it's got itself all twirled up out in the weeds, out in the sifting out the conditions. You make yourself crazy as you are trying to find a behavior that is deemed the appropriate behavior. You're becoming more and more divergent as a mass consciousness from the behaviors that were deemed acceptable. Look what's going on in all the movements in your world. Those conditional lovers who need things to be the way they want them to be in order to feel good are having nervous breakdowns today. Because the laws aren't backing them up anymore. The tide isn't backing them up anymore. The current, the mass movement, the paradigm shift is not backing them up anymore. You cannot wrestle this to the ground. You cannot control conditions and find alignment. And so it's a wonderful thing that you are where you are. Really a nice blend. You're in a place that so much can be heard from you by those who see you in a place of understanding. So it's really an easy, comfortable blend. You can believe in their well-being. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Enough?
you. Thank you.